No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm in here with a man, a white man.
Not a Mexican man, Adam.
No.
Yeah. Despite, you know what's crazy is when I posted that clip from our interview, I didn't realize how many people felt the same way that you felt.
Really?
And I think I'm such an obvious Caucasian that when I saw everyone leaving comments, I don't know if people just assume because I'm from Arizona and there's a lot of Mexicans in Arizona. My wife's Mexican. I don't know.
I think that's probably what made me think that you were Mexican was that I saw your kids and they looked distinctly Latin.
Yeah.
So I just assumed.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that. But no, it's definitely Caucasian. So I don't know. I mean, I know German and Irish and some other shit. But
As a white man, I should be able to sniff out my own kind, though, don't you think?
I would hope so.
Apparently not.
Yeah, well, here we are. Two white men.
Here we are. Tell me about the early days of Bootleg Kev.
Like how early?
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, in an area called Sunny Slope, which is kind of like the white trash hood, I guess.
Okay.
Like Hell's Angels, selling meth, so I grew up there, moved to Mesa, Arizona, which is not as bad white trash hood.
Okay.
And yeah, man, I just kind of came up, super poor. My dad always was just kind of like bouncing around from job to job. Then he got a job at the city, which was a lot more like dependable. So we got benefits. My mom worked at a bakery.
Okay.
And
So life wasn't terribly glamorous.
Nah, but my parents definitely for like how like the means we came from, they definitely like spoiled the shit out of me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was me and my sister, and yeah, I just kind of grew up like always kind of being like the class clown, talking shit, always super into rap music. It kind of just consumed my entire life from about the time since I got Doggy Style on cassette tape when I was like 6.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
34. Oh, okay. So I'm 38, and Doggy Style was very much it for me as well. Like that was the album that I heard in first or second grade, and it was just like the coolest thing in the world to me.
Yeah, I got it on accident. My grandma, she ordered a bunch of them tapes. Remember back the magazines used to be able to like order like 15 for like $1 or something.
I would do that all the time.
So she ordered a bunch of shit, and one of like Doggy Style came in the mail on accident, and it was like a cartoon on the cover.
Yeah. So you're thinking it's gonna be some kid shit.
Well, no. So my grandma's old as shit and like very disconnected from what the fuck's probably going on at that time. And so she gave it to me, and that it was just over from there.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of really offensive content out there. I've realized over the years.
Yeah, it was Doggy Style and Bone Thugs Creeping on a Come Up.
Right.
So those are like the two like hip hop that like kind of like changed my life for sure.
I was in the gym a couple years ago, and somebody played Doggy Style. Not me, thankfully, because I felt like I would have lost my music playing privileges. But there was a 12-year-old girl working out in the gym.
To Doggy Style?
Well, she wasn't involved with it being played.
Oh, okay.
It was like a private personal training gym, right? So there's only a couple of different people in here working out at any given time. I'm in there. There's 2 fucking gay dudes on the exercise bikes. And then there's some 12-year-old girl who, unrelated, but she's like the biggest human I'd ever seen.
Just a giant 12-year-old,
I think she threw the shot put or some shit. Like she was massive.
Nice.
Anyway, she complained to the staff.
It was too raunchy?
Yeah, and that really made me like hear it through new ears because I've been hearing it since I was, 7.
Yeah, I think today's 12-year-olds, you would think they'd be more like immune to like shit like that because they're more like the internet is a fucked up place that we didn't have access to when we were a kid. Like,
but there's just so much stuff about getting your balls licked and stuff.
Yeah, like
skits,
W balls
yeah.
and
like stuff like that.
DJ Salty Nuts.
I'm not surprised that there are 12-year-olds who would be offended by it.
Yeah, especially out here.
It's kind of impressive she would say something about it.
Yeah, she like spoke up.
I feel like the average kid would just hold it in.
Yeah. No, that's real. Nah, but so Doggy Style, obviously that should just really kind of change my life. And then I had a best friend named Ramses who's been in my life since I was 3, who kind of like would always just give me rap music to listen to as a kid. So from there, like I really didn't have any real idea what I wanted to do except for play basketball. And I realized when I was like 14 or 15 that was very unlikely, being a, moderately average sized Caucasian man.
Right.
So I was just like, how do I get involved in music? So I got turntables, started doing the DJ thing, and then at my school, I went to a high school, and instead of taking electives at the home school, you could go to like an off-campus trade school, and do your elective courses there. And they had a radio broadcasting school like at this place. It's called EVIT. And so I went there, and I was like, oh shit, I could figure out a way to like be involved in like music without being musically talented.
Because you knew that you weren't meant to be a rapper? How'd you know? I
used to write I used to write raps and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I would never rap them out loud to nobody.
I used to try to write down some raps, and I just, it sucked. Like,
no, for sure. And then like making beats to me was like, it just looked so complicated. Like, I was just like, to me it was DJing or just doing the radio thing. Okay.
And so how do you make yourself useful there? And is this story completely useless to the modern generation because these types of opportunities are really hard to get?
Well, this is what I would tell anybody. If you're like watching this and you have aspirations to be on the radio, think of some other shit. This shit is for the birds. It's first of all, there's people who are actually giving real money to like radio broadcasting schools. You might as well just go to a parking lot and set it on fire. Like, if you're not going to get an internship at a radio station, like, they're not going to teach you nothing at a broadcasting school that you can't learn. Like,
what do they teach you?
Just like, what the commercials mean? Like, a bunch of like cool shit that like came in handy when I started interning at a real radio station, but nothing that was like, I guess I had like a 10% up on everyone else that were interns, but it wasn't much. Like, you really got to learn on the fly. And to be honest, like, the radio shit is really, it's like dying for real.
Right. Like, when you were a kid, it seemed like a pretty valid thing to go into.
Oh, for sure.
People would have told you that this was a decent career idea. Around what time did that start to like? Well, I guess it's just been this really gradual decline in opportunities in that field.
Yeah, it's been gradual, and like, look, radio's cool. It's definitely like there's a place for it always. It's just the amount of money that's available to people is shrinking. So like, 10 years ago, everyone was getting paid. 10, 15 years ago, a lot of people were making money, right? Everybody's consolidating now. So there might be, for example, like, I left Real 92.3 in December of last year and then launched a syndicated show that I owned, and then they picked it back up. So I was off the station for like 4 months and then ended up back on. But the difference is my show is offered broadly to everyone. So if a radio station in Wichita, Kansas wants to run the Bootleg Kev show, they can. So now what I'm doing is kind of what all the big companies are doing. So you might hear Big Boy, right? And like, you go to Las Vegas and you turn on Real 103.9 in Vegas, you're gonna hear Big Boy in the morning there.
Right.
The Breakfast Club's on in fucking 150 markets or something. But so that's just getting scaled in everyday part.
How'd you figure out that you could do that? And you're doing that independently?
Yes. 100%.
And then you just sell it to different stations who want to carry the content that you're making on your own?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, what it is I just like, my old co-host DJ Head, who's I'm still really close with, like, I would say about 2 years ago, I tried to talk him into being like, hey bro, let's go for the syndication shit. We don't need to work for nobody. And it was something that I felt like the business was moving towards. And when I left Real, it was just like, I have so many relationships. I've been doing this shit since I was 16.
Hey guys, so a word from our sponsor. Are you looking for a little bit of extra confidence when it's time to have fun? Well, let me tell you about BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering up chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. Blue Chew is a unique online service that includes the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men battle all sorts of different kinds kinds of erectile dysfunction, from the premature types to the ones who just can't get it up. It's an online prescription service, so there's no awkward visits to the doctor or anything like that. They send it to you in discreet packaging, so nobody's going to know what you're up to. All you got to do is head on over to BlueChew.com and consult with one of their medical professionals, and within a couple of days, you'll have your package in the mail. Maybe you don't like swallowing a big old pill. Well, that's actually convenient because these right here are chewable tablets. And as a special deal for all the No Jumper fans out there, you can try out Blue Chew for free. All you got to do is use our code ADAM22 at checkout, and you'll only spend $5 for free shipping. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code ADAM22. You'll get your first month free. Thank you very much to Blue Chew for supporting us. Let's keep going back through the story. So you dip your foot in by working or doing this internship.
Yeah, I was interning at the radio station for this show called The Nuts in the Morning.
Okay.
Joey Boy and Jay Filla. At the same time, I'm going to I have a newborn baby. I had a baby in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I had, when I turned 18, I had a newborn baby. So I was hustling at the swap meet. I was slinging bootleg everything. That's how I got my name. So I was
going to ask.
There was a fucking swap meet in Phoenix. It's still there. It's on 40th Street in Washington. And I would go every weekend, like Saturdays, Sunday mornings, and set up shop. And I would have burnt all the mixtapes, all the G-Unit radios, all the fucking Southern Smokes.
So you would download them and then bootleg them?
Yep.
Wow. Nice.
Yep.
So you owe Who Kid and various other
every time I see
check.
Drama and all those guys, I'm like, guys, you guys fucking help feed my kid.
Wow.
And even furthermore, I was bootlegging like actual fucking albums.
Right.
So like, you know, like there was like those message boards back in the day that were fucking popping. So you used to be able to go to like certain message boards and just get whatever you wanted.
Right.
And
I mean, you could just buy a copy as well and then burn
but this is when like real leaks were happening.
Oh, okay. What year are we talking?
This is 2000, like 03, 04, 05. Those are about the 3 years I was super active, like
Right.
06. No, it was 04, 05, 06.
Okay.
So yeah, so like I would have like the games documentary at the fucking swap meet,
Right.
like a month before it came out. You know
How
what I'm
many,
saying?
like, how much money were you doing? Were you getting rich off this, or was it just
Yeah, I mean, for my circumstances, I was probably making like, 5 or 6 bands a month.
Oh, nice.
And I also was selling like bootleg jerseys. I'd like, you'd be able to get like the fucking fake NFL triple stitch jerseys.
You still know dudes who are in this line of hustle? Because it sounds pretty smart.
Yeah.
Sell a bunch of shit that you make that's fake.
Yeah, no, I don't. But I was, man, dude. Like I used to have this lady, this little Asian lady, who I guess worked at the factory in China. So I used to get on fucking webcam with this lady, and she would just show me shit, and I'd be like, "Let me get that, let me get that." Like it was crazy. And
What? Just like clothes?
yeah, like if like I sold so many fake Tiffany dunks. So many fucking dude, the jersey shit was lit. Like before people caught on that fake jerseys were a thing. Because now it's like if a jersey's fake. Like I could spot one. Every time I go to an NFL game, I'm judging everyone in a fake jersey.
I mean, there's so many little details that it would be.
They're not even
almost
little. They're
impossible
obvious to me.
But there's so many things you have to get right to make a jersey look right.
Right, but back then everything looked, I mean, the shit looked great, right? And people weren't hip to the fact that there was people bootlegging jerseys yet. So I would get a jersey for $22, and then I would hit the fucking sales pit at the radio station. And this is before I'm getting paid. I worked for free at a radio station for 2 whole years with a newborn baby. I didn't get paid a cent.
But you saw the long-term vision?
Yeah, I just was like, this is all I want to do. Like, I dropped that. I went to college for like a half a semester, and then was like, I didn't have time to do both. So, so I would hit the sales pit and fucking tell all these salespeople like, yo, I got the legit like in-game jerseys, triple stitch. And I would sell them for like $100, $150. And I got them for $22 from China. Sometimes the packages would get hit by customs and I wouldn't get them. So I'd have to eat the L. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
Were the odds of getting caught like 0 in your mind at this time?
Nah, I got caught.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got banned from every fucking swap meet in the state of Arizona.
Wow.
And I would just keep moving around. And then I'd have my mom go and book the space. But then I'd be the one that would like go set up.
So what, the feds just run down on the swap meets?
No,
from time to time?
The only time anything like legal happened was one time I got a heads up that the sheriff was going through the swap meet to see if they could find counterfeit items. And so I just packed my shit up and put it in at the time, like you would rent a parking space.
Right.
So it's like $25 for a parking space, 35 if you wanted electricity. So I would have my rodeo there, and inside of that, I'd even have like my computer there. So if somebody wanted like a custom mix, for the most part, I'd have all the music on my computer that was hot at the time. So I'd burn somebody a fucking CD on the spot, or make the other thing. Remember the picture tees back in the day?
Yeah.
With like fucking Tupac and Biggie and Scarface, like the fucking
Right.
So I used to fucking make those on the spot too.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like I was kind of like a one-stop shop at the swap meet, man.
Would you have been selling drugs? Were you also selling drugs, or
No, actually, I didn't start selling. No.
would you have been selling drugs? Like, did that seem like the other option? Because it seems like kind of similar. You got to be on the run from the law a little bit. You're making money hand to hand, daily.
You know, I come from like a really fucked up family, and most of my older cousins and uncles were in prison for a very long time. So at that moment, at that moment in time, I probably would not have sold drugs.
Okay.
I ended up selling drugs later, which we'll get to, but yes.
Okay. So you're interning, and then like, what's the next step?
No, so I was interning, man, and I got hired on the street team, and then I had the opportunity to call in and do like a call in, like, yo, what up? I'm on the corner of whatever, you know, come pick up tickets to whatever. And a lady named Carly Hustle, who she works at Apple Music now. She's a legend. You know, I'm forever grateful for her. She just heard my voice. I called into her show to do a call in, and she was like, you need to be on the radio. So it wasn't long after that.
She just heard it right there because you hadn't done anything.
No, but I mean, I was around. You know, like I was around the station, and you know, I had some sort of experience being on a high school radio station prior to that. But yeah, so Carly Hustle heard my shit, and I was doing weekends and like overnights at the same time doing the morning show, like helping produce them. I was doing stunts for the morning show, like doing stupid shit, like putting hot sauce in my eye, jumping out of the back of fucking cars, and just all kinds of fucking dumb shit. And from there, I kind of was like young. I had an underground hip hop show, which I was like super, super passionate about. So Friday nights, we like from like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. I don't even remember the hours. Me and my boy Ramses used to take over and just play hella fucking boom bap shit. Like we would edit all the songs ourselves.
Like what? What were you fucking with at that time?
Back then it was like shit, man. Any like of course like the Dilated Peoples of the world, dude, I remember just cleaning up like shit off of Joe Budden's Mood Music shit, like I mean, dude, all that shit. Sean Price.
I was a big Sean Price fan.
Yeah, one of the most underrated artists ever. But yeah, no, like all that kind of shit, you know? And that's really kind of what like always has fueled my like passion for like this shit is I just like, I love hip hop music. Like it's kind of been my life since I was a kid, man. So, so that was like, you know, my favorite time of the week. We'd have 2 hours where me and him would just take over the station and just play the shit we really wanted to hear. You know what I mean? So through that show over the years, because I did that show, every market I went to after that, I did a version of like an underground hip hop show. I was like, that was kind of how I got a lot of my relationships in hip hop because I was the only person playing a lot of these guys on the radio. Like Kendrick, like all those guys, like I was playing like super, super early. And so, yeah, that was always kind of like a backbone to what I was doing on the radio side, was always being able to have an outlet. Until I got to LA, that outlet did not happen.
What year did you come to LA?
2016, the end of 2016, I started doing weekends.
And so before that, you'd just been doing the radio thing in Arizona? Or did you ever actually... Everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you were moving all over?
Yeah, so so I was doing the radio shit in Phoenix. You know, I started in high school. Shout out to my guy, David Tillman, who likes the Blowman. That's his nickname.
Whoa.
It's just an inside thing. He's going to show this to all he might get some pussy off this. Went to Power in Phoenix, did the morning show thing, did weekends. And then I ended up my first full-time gig, because in radio at the time, you could do weekends somewhere, but everyone's under contract who's like the full-timers, right? So like, in order for me to get like a real look, I had to move.
Right.
So my first full-time gig was in Boise.
Okay.
Which was fucking terrible.
So that's like how depressing the life of a radio broadcaster was at that time. Is
facts.
Hey, you have to just go live in some place where you don't know anyone, and there's nothing going on.
For sure.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I knew one dude there, my guy DJ Complex.
And you're making money, but you just have.
Oh no, I was making
$25,000
a year.
Okay, so not great money.
Oh no, it was terrible.
And you don't know anyone. You're trying to like put together a life. And
I moved to Boise, Idaho, with just to say, I just for my resume.
Right. Yeah.
That's literally all it was. So I was there for a year. Then I went to Vegas and worked for this lady named Sharita, who was an absolute maniac.
And Vegas is fun.
Yes, that was me moving to Vegas changed my life. So I got to give love to Sharita because despite her being a psychopath, she did change my life. So when I got to Vegas, is when I really dived in on like. I bought the GoPro, or what's that? Not the GoPro. What was that flip cam? With the fucking USB on the side? Flip cam. Remember the handheld flip cams?
Okay.
So I used to film all of my interviews. So I was like really early on with like having great relationships with like Nah Right and Two Dope Boys and B-Dot at Rap Radar and all those guys. So I would film. It was me and a guy named Peter Parker who were like
Spider-Man.
No, Peter Parker. He's from Minneapolis. He's from Boston, but who were like uploading our radio interviews on YouTube first. Like there was like that wasn't a thing. So we like that was kind of like how I got some of my national notoriety because I was doing radio in Vegas on the Strip, like the radio stations right across the street from Mandalay Bay, and everyone and their fucking mom was coming to my show, like everybody.
Wow.
So. I had Justin Bieber on my show freestyling. That went viral. Like everybody you could think of was on my show, and we were putting it on YouTube. And I built so many relationships just being in Vegas.
Celebrities used to be a lot less paranoid of doing content, huh? Like you're just saying that you got Justin Bieber.
Everyone's jaded now.
And someone like Justin Bieber just knows that a random radio DJ has so much to gain from him, and that he has nothing to gain from you because he has his own platform.
Listen, yeah,
the dynamic is completely shifted.
Yeah, I was living in Vegas, and I have some wild. So Justin Bieber, before he became like, you remember he had that like fucking era when he just started doing fuck shit.
Yeah,
he was hanging out with who was he hanging out with? One of the dudes from Young
Sean
Money.
Kingston.
What was that dude? Lil Twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing all that shit, right?
Him and Sean Kingston were drinking lean and shit.
Yeah, like
he got activist banned.
Well, I'm real tight with Molly Mall. So when I'm living in Vegas like Molly Mall's heyday. Like me, Franny, and Molly Mall at the crib. Like I'm bringing everyone to Molly Mall's house. If someone comes into town and they're like, "Yo, I need a studio," I'm just taking them to Mall's crib.
Okay.
We just bringing up Justin. Like I remember it went from like me interviewing him, having him freestyle on my show, and within 6 months. It was like 6-7 months from him being like still like innocent to Maul had a birthday party in Vegas at his crib. And I go with Mike Posner. And at the time, Mike's on tour with Justin. And we go inside. There's fucking naked bitches serving drinks and all kinds of ill, wild shit you would expect to be happening at Molly Mall's house. And dude, fucking Justin Bieber is fucking yacked out of his fucking mind.
Drunk?
He's
No.
Some other shit.
Lean.
No.
Coke.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that this motherfucker for
screaming drugs at you.
25 minutes. I'm sitting at the bar, bro, like in Mall's little side room or whatever, the living room, whatever the fuck it is. And we're looking at Justin Bieber, and this motherfucker is looking at himself in the mirror for 30 minutes straight, bro.
Oh, that's a thing that could happen doing enough drugs, yeah.
He's just staring at himself. Like, no flinching, like, people trying to talk to him. He's not even fucking replying. He's just looking at himself in the mirror.
Wow.
But, yeah, Vegas was dope, man.
Did it occur to you or any of the other grown-ups in the room at any point, they're like, man,
for me, for sure.
It's a child.
He's not even 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In modern context, people would look at that and say that that's almost predatorial for you to be allowing it to happen. Look at what they say about Boosie getting this fucking 14-year-old kid a blowjob or whatever.
Let me be absolutely clear. Nobody is telling nobody shit at Molly Mall's house. It'll be a bad look for everybody involved. At that time,
right?
Everyone had to check their phone. Like it was
really
very much like it was a good night though.
It was a wild time. But you were getting fucked up or no?
I've never done any drugs.
Anything? You never?
I smoke weed and have done hallucinogenics, but I've never ever snorted cocaine. I've never I've never taken a pain pill, bro.
Have you ever seen Justin Bieber have sex with someone?
No.
No, he wasn't fucking out in public?
No. Nah. That was just like one like anecdotal story. Because I was like, yeah, Justin Bieber came on my show and freestyled.
I'm just trying to figure out.
6 months later, he was in a fucking Lord knows what planet he was on, looking at himself in the fucking mirror.
Like how crazy Justin Bieber was willing to get.
Dude, listen, one day you need to have Maul on the fucking podcast, and he's probably got the craziest shit. I mean, if he ever tells, I know he's about to get locked up for a little bit.
Right, and he DM'd me all mad after that Black China interview.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I told him I would call him, and then I forgot to call him, which I'm sure he's probably not a big fan of that, but he never hit me up after that.
Yeah, it's crazy because speaking of Tyga, I mean, T-Rail's probably got some crazy stories.
Tyga. Who was talking about Tyga?
No, because I was going to say Maul and Tyga were real tight. That's why the Black China thing happened. Because I think Molly's like the kid's godfather or some shit.
But wait, so why did you say speaking of Tyga?
Oh, no, I was going to say, speaking of Tyga, he was around for a lot of that Vegas shit. He lived there, yeah.
So T-Rail was probably that fly on the wall. You probably didn't even know who he was, huh?
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
He had to get his clout up. Had to get a no jumper interview. Now you know who he is.
I don't know. I've never been a big Tyga guy, but
No?
No.
Die-hard Tyga fan?
I used to judge people that would wear Last Kings.
Oh, yeah, me too, actually. I didn't feel the need to.
I used to like we had a producer, me and my guy Damage, we had a producer named Jasmine on our show who was like, at one point in time in her life, ran a Tyga fan club online.
Wow.
So I used to always just fucking clown on her about Last Kings and shit. It was funny.
That's amazing.
But shout out to Jasmine. And shout out to Tyga. Reinvented himself. Fucking Tyga's doing his thing.
I got Tyga lyrics tattooed in my whole back.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll show you one day. Anyway, okay, so do you remember how Justin Bieber stopped kicking it with you guys? Like, I'm kind of fascinated by this.
Let me be clear. He was not kicking it with me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to sit here in front like me and Justin Bieber were hanging out. That was not the case. I was really tight with Molly Mall, Pooh Bear, still tight with them dudes. But like I was fucking kicking it with Justin, getting crazy. I'm just saying, I remember going to Maul's crib for his birthday and seeing that shit and being like, what the fuck? I just had this kid on my show, and he was like, totally like a normal, 16-year-old, however the fuck old he was at the time.
Yeah. Now he's a man of the Lord.
Yeah, he had I think he had a lot of terrible people around. Obviously, he had a lot of terrible people around him.
You being one of them. Okay. So how's Vegas end? Where did you go after that?
I went back home to Phoenix for a full-time spot. So I did that. Then I got into it with the sales manager. Things, we kind of threw some hands.
Really?
Yeah.
You got a temper?
No, I'm not a tough guy, but I'm just not a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let someone talk to me a certain way.
What do you do?
I'd rather really not get into it, but to make a long story short, we were at an Iggy Azalea event. And me and this guy have a very, at the time, at least in my opinion, we had a very cordial relationship. Like the kind of relationship where if I'm walking through the hallways, this dude would nail me in the nuts.
Wow.
That kind of homie.
Real bros, yeah.
Some bro shit, right?
Yeah.
So we're standing outside of this fucking club in Phoenix, and I just made the Source Power 30. This is 2013.
Wow.
The Radio Power 30.
Okay.
And he's talking shit, like the source don't matter, whatever. And I don't care. He's talking shit. I mean, I talk shit. Oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, all right, yeah. And that's the homie. So I pour out. It's fucking September in Phoenix. It's 110 degrees outside at night, mind you. So I had a water in my hand. I took a cap of water and poured it down his neck, and the dude clotheslined me.
Wow.
And then I just defended myself.
And you got up, beat his ass?
No. We had a scuffle. It got broken up quickly. He got kicked out because security saw exactly what happened. Oh, I say all that to say
clothesline. I've never been clothesline.
Some fuck shit transpired. I got let go. I ended up in Tampa, and when I moved to Tampa, that shit was, that was like a culture shock, bro. Like being a West Coast kid,
Tampa,
and then going to fucking Florida,
a hub of culture and sophistication.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it's so crazy because when I moved to Tampa, like that's where I got super tight with the Rolling Loud guys because they had a company called Dope ENT.
Right, they've been doing shows forever. I didn't know.
Yeah, so I had the underground hip hop show in Tampa. So I was doing afternoons, but then shout out to Orlando Davis and Brewster. Part of my deal was, look, if I'm gonna come out to Tampa, I'll do afternoons, but you guys got to give me like 2 hours on the weekend to play my shit. You know what I mean? So linking up with the homies from Rolling Loud, like they were the only dudes in the city that were throwing like the kind of shows that I fucked with. Like they would have Big Crit in town or Currency or Dizzy Wright or whoever. So we just kind of linked up naturally. So, I've been knowing those guys for a long time, but Tampa was wild. Tampa's
Yeah?
a crazy place. Have you ever been to Tampa?
Yeah, but just like on like family vacation type shit for the most
Like
part.
Clearwater Beach or some shit?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. No, it's fucking... Tampa's
Classy.
fire, bro.
Yeah.
It's like they call it the Florida of Florida.
I like that. I love Florida. I spent a shitload of time in Florida throughout my life.
Yeah, Tampa's like all them crazy ass stories that we always see. For the most part, they're all in the Tampa Bay metropolitan area.
Yeah.
It's like every once in a while it'll be like Dade County, but for the most part, it's like Tampa, St. Pete, Polk County. It's always some fuck shit going on in that area.
I love Florida. Okay, so where do you go from there?
So from there, I was there for a year. I was there for a total of 2 years, but I was there a year into my run in Tampa. iHeart had reached. Well, first of all, shout out to Whack. Whack hit me about an opportunity in LA that he thought I'd be dope for. So Whack gave me the first heads up that a hip hop station was coming to LA. A new one that wasn't Power 106.
Right.
Because I've been trying to get hired at fucking Power 106 forever.
And never even got an interview or
Nah,
what?
I mean, I got like an email back. Like, I know those guys, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But it's like impossible to break into that space, right?
it's, if you look a certain way, it's impossible. Yes. So Real 92.3 came. It's just like, if you notice, like Power 106 habitually, besides Big Boy, was always just like a heavily like Latino staffed radio station. And that makes sense because that reflects the demographic of LA to an extent. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it was just tough to be a white dude and try to get hired at Power 106. Like
Right.
Jimmy Steele at the time was just not even really entertaining it.
If you're white in rap, you really got to be bringing something to the table because, and that obviously goes for everybody because it's a competitive ass landscape. But I mean, yeah, nobody's really like dying to give another white guy an opportunity.
And I get it because, bro, there's some corny motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Dude, side note.
For a white guy to stand out to me as somebody in rap that I like respect their opinion or want to fuck with, the standard definitely inches up a little bit, I would
Certainly.
say. Yeah.
I was going to say, did you ever see that meme of you, me, Vlad, and Peter
I
Rosenberg?
was totally looking forward to bringing that up. Yeah.
And everyone's like, I like how Peter was like, me and Kev ain't like Adam and Vlad. And I'm like, yo, I know I know Vlad lightly, you know, but like
Right.
I get this, like I get some of the stigma about him. But I'm like, Adam's a pretty solid motherfucker.
I remember looking at that and thinking, Kev's not even white.
This motherfucker's Mexican and they
I
got him
thought.
bunched in with us.
That's what I thought.
No, but the LA shit. So I'm in Tampa and I find out that the station's coming in LA, and I'm like, yo, I'm a West Coast kid. I'm super homesick. Like Florida was amazing though. I loved it there, but I didn't love it right off the back. I did warm up to it. So a guy named Doc Winter, who is like that motherfucker at iHeart. He runs the urban shit for the whole country. He's launching a station, Real 92.3 in LA. And I pretty much, you know, I'm real tight with Charlemagne. Charlemagne's been, you know, one of my mentors for shit since about 2011, 2010. No, 2010 is when I first linked up with him. So he was like, yo, this is who you need to email. I'm putting in the word for you. And then Whack calls me on FaceTime because I sent my demo. I sent it like a YouTube like sizzle reel. And in radio personalities are such clueless jerk-offs for the most part. Like 99% of them. They just send like audio air checks is what they call them. So I send this fucking YouTube fucking heat-seeking missile of a demo to Doc Winter. And it's got my interviews in it. It's just creative as fuck. Whack,
How long?
It was like 4 minutes.
And it's just got little clips of all the different stuff that you've done.
It's just heat, bro. It's like the illest shit. Doc still tells everyone to this day it's the best shit he's ever seen for an air check.
I mean, if you want to get hired for that kind of thing, it would seem like the thing to do.
Like it started with me calling at all my homies in LA and having every single LA rapper I know do a video drop saying, yo, Doc Winter, hire Bootleg Kev. He needs to come to LA.
Wow, personalized.
So I got the Game, Kidding, Ty Dolla $ign, all these people that sent me videos saying, yo, it's the Game. Hey, yo, Real 92.3, y'all got to hire Bootleg Kev. What the fuck's going on? He needs to be in LA type shit.
Right.
So you start with that, it's like, oh, shit.
That's a great
And
idea.
at the time, even Macklemore sent a video drop. And at that time, Macklemore's fucking Macklemore. You know what I'm saying? So, and by the way, no disrespect to Macklemore. He's that motherfucker still. But, you know, yeah.
We don't know what he's up to.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Precisely. So Whack 100 calls me on FaceTime at dinner with Doc in LA and is like, yo, I'm going to give Doc your info. He's going to reach out to you. Long story short, they offered me the job to do afternoons to launch the station in 2015, but I was under contract in Florida, and they wouldn't let me out of my deal. So I would have been in LA in 2015, but I couldn't get out of my contract in Tampa, which was fine.
So you had to what? Do another year?
Yeah.
And then you made your way over?
And then I was in the middle of renegotiating with Tampa because Doc did not have a full-time gig for me at the time. I got a kid, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So...
And they had hired somebody to fill the role that they wanted you for, obviously.
Yeah. They had hired Natalia. Did I get that right?
So you just... It wasn't available.
No, it wasn't Natalia. Fuck. Damn it. Nina. Jesus Christ. She would have killed me if she would have saw that.
Whoop.
Nina Chantel. That was her name.
Industry shit.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Anyway, so...
Maybe I shouldn't say that.
So I'm in the middle of renegotiating to stay in Tampa. And I get fucking hammered doing a live broadcast in Florida. A lot of people don't know this. This is you understand why. So I get super fucked up. We're at Club Sky in Ybor City, which is a legendary fucking club in Tampa. I saw Kodak Black there when he was like 17, legendary spot. But we're like in radio, you do these live broadcasts, and I'm fucking hammered, bro. my board op street teamer dude, I think it was my guy Cam or Rich Ortiz, one of them was like, yo, cool, the broadcast is done, we're off the air. So that's my signal that I can cuss on the mic and get crazy. So I start hosting a fucking ass shaking contest. Little do I know, this whole shit is going over the fucking airwaves.
Wow.
And this is at like 1 or 2, it's like 2:30 in the morning.
How shit-faced are you?
I'm fucked up, bro. So I actually have the audio of like what I said on the radio. I said, yo, throw me my fucking phone. I got.
How filthy were you getting? Like what?
Bro, I just
you're
said,
describing these big asses shaking.
Nah, I just said, I just like you can't cuss on the radio at the end of the day.
Right.
So,
F words. Look at that fucking
I was like,
thing.
no, I told this bitch. I said, I told this bitch she looked like the Ultimate Warrior, bro. Or some shit. It was so fucking funny.
Right.
Tommy, let me see if this is it. Tommy sent it to me. For my archives is what it was called. What year? When was this?
Kev shutting down the
Here
booty
it
shaking
is.
contest.
This is like the actual audio of me cussing on the radio.
And this is why you got fired.
No, I didn't get fired. I'm going to tell you the loophole. Hold on.
Okay.
Listen, hold on.
That fucking dress right there is bright as shit. You look like fucking Macho Man in that dress.
So that is what...
Wow.
That fucking dress right there is bright as shit. You look like fucking Macho Man in that dress.
I could hear the alcohol.
Oh my God, I'm fucking slammed, right?
Wow.
So the next morning I wake up and I had some sort of heads up that some shit went down over the air, right? And so I go to our website, wild941.com. And by the way, I'm back on that radio station right now.
Okay.
They run my show. So I go to the website and I'm not on the fucking website anymore.
Whoa.
And I get an email saying, can you come to the station at 2:30? I quit.
You told them you quit.
As soon as I saw I wasn't on the website and I had a meeting at 2:30, 30 minutes before my show started, I resigned.
Okay.
So nobody can say I got fired from Tampa. And being the stand-up motherfucker Orlando Davis is my PD out there, we had that conversation and he was like, if anyone asked me, you resigned.
Oh.
You didn't get fired, you resigned.
Did anyone put you on that game and tell you that was the move?
No, I just made that move. I know how radio is, bro. I know how narratives are.
Okay.
I know how press releases get sent out, all that shit.
Seems quite wise.
So at that time, I'm like, cool. I know that I have an opportunity at Real in LA. If I want it, it might not be full time. So I moved back to Phoenix. And I was driving from Phoenix to LA every Saturday just to do a 4-hour radio shift. And that turned into me ending up doing the night show.
Okay.
With Damage, who you came up on. I think did you come up with me and Head or me and Damage?
Head, I think.
I think it was Damage and Dre Sinatra.
I definitely met Head on the radio with you.
Okay, then maybe that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I fucking was just hustling, doing my DJing at the club and doing all that. And then Doc was like, look, I'm gonna make some room for you. Just come and do this weekend shit for me for a little bit.
Okay.
And then it ended up working out, and I got offered nights at Rio. The money wasn't great, but I made that shit work.
And did you feel like this is the end of the road of my radio career? I finally made it to a station in LA. I'm where I need to be.
It felt like, it felt great, man. Because I had a rough like 5 or 6 years just dealing with a bunch of fuck boys in radio, and like I was like, wow, to like know that like, you know, there was like a lot of people spreading narratives about me that like I was like a troublemaker and I was like a loose cannon and all this shit. So. In
that kind of corporate environment, you really got to like be on your best behavior, huh? Because it's so easy for people to paint you as being something.
Yeah, and it was really just this one dude who was just like always talking shit about me, but people kind of like listened to what he was saying. And his name's Mikey Fuentes. Fuck him. Anyway, but it was just very, because like to work for a guy named like Doc. So Doc is like the opposite of like every radio person I've ever worked for.
Right.
Very tapped in, still listens to music when it drops, like, and is also very like chill, no ego involved. You know, a lot of radio people running that are program directors are just old motherfuckers who ain't on the radio no more. So they think they used to be on the radio though. So they think that they know best. And Doc used to be on the radio, but he's very much like, I'm hiring you for a reason.
Right.
Like, do you? You know what I'm saying? So
nice.
Yeah, so it worked out, man.
How long are you happy about being on the radio in LA before you start to realize, like, man, fuck this shit?
To be honest, I loved when I first got to LA. I was a part of a show that was already a show before I got there. They put me on a show with DJ Damage and Dre Sinatra.
Oh, actually, now I'm thinking about it. I think there was another time that we were all in.
Yes.
I think I did it twice. You're right. You're right. There was another time. Okay.
So Damage and Dre already had the night show thing happening, and Doc hires me as the guy who he originally wanted to do afternoons at the station. So Doc tells them, hey, Kev's the lead mic. You guys follow his lead now. Ooh. Now imagine like how, I'm not saying it was awkward because Damage is still my brother, Dre's still my brother. I still talk to them all the fucking time.
Right. But he just thought you would be a better lead. It
was just it just wasn't the most ideal dynamic.
Right.
Everyone is like like no one knows when to talk. And so it didn't work out.
Creating that group atmosphere where you can have multiple people on camera talking into microphones, doing well together, it's a very, very tricky science.
Yeah, and especially I'm the fucking new guy. I'm not even from LA. Right, you know what I'm saying? So that didn't work out. And you know, me and like I said, Dre still works at the station. Damage does Hollywood Unlocked and is one of the most talented guys I know. Okay. It just didn't work out, right? So Doc called me into his office and he said, "Hey, we're gonna let Damage go. Who would you want to have on the show with you?" And I was like, "Well, really nobody. I could just do this. I've been doing it my whole career by myself. But if it had to be anybody, the only person who I related to at the radio station, which I was like, he's one of me, is DJ Head."
Okay.
And they already had Head in mind for the position. Because me and Head are very much alike and very much not alike.
Really?
He always says I'm on some white people shit, so.
Right.
But no, we're very much alike in terms of like just our work ethic and the way we think about everything. So we got put together and the shit was great while it lasted, man. And then the iHeart made budget cuts.
So it wasn't 100% your choice? They kind of...
Nah, it was some budget cut shit, but they told me, they were like, hey, we don't want to do this. And at the time I, was making more money. But at that time I was already plotting this syndicated show I was going to launch. I was very close to, I was having conversations with Head where I was like, bro, I'm going to probably fucking quit.
Right.
Because we're in the middle of the pandemic. And what I realized about being in the pandemic, I made more money in 2020 and 2021 than I ever made in my life.
Doing what?
All kinds of shit. But in 2020, we started to not have to be at the radio station for 6 hours a fucking night.
Right.
So me and Head would hop on Zoom and knock the show out at like noon, and then I have my whole fucking day available to me. And I was like, oh shit.
This is better.
Yeah, that going in is for the birds. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, 33% of my day is at a fucking place that I have to be at or I get yelled at.
Yeah.
So
did the actual creative part start to feel kind of draining too? Because I remember even when I first went there and you were just sort of describing how You didn't paint the rosiest picture of what working on a radio
Oh yeah,
was.
being on the radio is not. It is like you're so confined in like this.
There's so little leeway that you have to express your own personality.
Dude, it's trash, to be honest. Like for somebody who like is very much like opinionated, who wants to do ill creative shit, it's very tough to pull that off, and people do it, you know. The Crew show is really good, and obviously Big Boy and The Breakfast Club, and you know, there's a science to this radio shit, but you know, like I would have the most fun bringing guests in and just doing it on the Real 92.3 YouTube page,
right.
Bringing guys like yourself in, or you know, just whoever. And even then, we'd have like a 20 or 30 minute window before we had to run into the other room and be on the air.
I remember like seeing, you know, like as a person who makes content for YouTube, I remember sort of seeing that all of a sudden this shift started to happen where you had people like you who are working at radio stations who started to say, okay, we want to do content for YouTube. And I'm like, this is interesting. And it's funny how it didn't take very long for you to be like, well, actually, fuck that. I'm just going to do it for myself.
Well, no, like if you go on my YouTube channel, I've been doing that shit since 2010.
So they allowed you to continue to do your own show on YouTube?
No, but it was on their channel. So imagine this though. I get to Real 92.3. The only person putting anything on YouTube is Big Boy.
Okay.
So I'm like, yo, how is all these fucking people working at a station in Los Angeles and the fucking YouTube ain't popping? How is not every single person who's hot coming into this fucking place and sitting down with the Night Show?
Because you have a lot of leverage. Because
bro,
if they come in and do an interview with you, maybe we play your record more.
So like right away, I was like, yo, this is changing. So I found this kid named Tommy who was like hungry to just do video. And he would come shoot all of our interviews for free because we didn't have the resources at the station to have a video guy for the Night Show. Besides, shout out, eventually they gave us our guy, Eric Fisher, who was helping a lot. Yeah, so I was like, yo, I'm just going to hit everyone I know and tell them to pull up. Like, you know what I mean? So we would have, you know, everyone and their fucking mom come to the radio station. And 90% of that shit wouldn't actually get on the airwaves. But what I was doing was building up a YouTube channel that I didn't fucking own.
Right.
Just doing the shit I was doing already. Like I was doing that kind of shit in Florida, in Phoenix, in Vegas. But it was, you know, in LA, it was so much more quantity. Like we had everyone come through.
But did you feel like it was worth it from your perspective?
Yeah.
Even though you weren't, were you seeing additional money based off of how the channel did?
No.
But
I felt like it was worth it because without their opportunity, the opportunity that I had changed my life. Right. So I definitely, like, this is the thing. And you know, not everything has to have a dollar sign attached to it for it to have some worth, right?
Right.
So while during that time I was building up someone else's shit, I also was further solidifying my position as a factor, you know what I'm saying, in the industry on a bigger level than I ever had been.
Right.
And so I didn't start uploading shit to my YouTube channel again until June of 2020.
Okay.
And that was when I bought a studio in February just as like a business move, you know.
You bought that building?
Well, I mean, I bought all the equipment. I leased the space.
Right.
But I got the studio, opened the studio, and I was like, man, like right now, no one besides you was doing in-person interviews. I'm sure you noticed all the bullshit Zoom interviews and IG Live interviews that were going on.
Yeah.
They were fucking atrocious.
But that was a hard time because it was hard to get people to come.
They didn't want to come. And then also nobody wanted to come to fucking LA because it was shut the fuck down.
Vlad was still doing interviews too, though.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to I'd always wanted to do the Bootleg Kev podcast. You were supposed to be the first guest.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We talked about this on your episode where we did record an episode. I didn't even know that
Bro, you came to my fucking basement.
I did.
In Burbank.
Yep.
20 seconds from here. And I had the garage like a cool little set. And we recorded an interview and I did like 2 or 3 and I just never launched it because at the time I was supposed to do some shit with Nori. Nori was supposed to have his Drink Champs network. Didn't work out. But so I just, since then I had so many excuses not to do it.
Right.
So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do this Bootleg Kev podcast shit. I'm going to own all the fucking content. And I launched it at the end of June. Freddie was my first guest. It fucking went crazy. And like, it's just been like about consistency, man. Like we just hit 100,000 subs.
Nice.
And like, it's just, you know, for me, it's like now I'm in your world, bro.
Do you have an editor or you do all the work yourself?
That giant man over there.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Cook.
He could push somebody around, smack somebody for you.
Yeah, he's
and he
also
could just
security.
Nice.
Yeah, this fucking guy Cook. Not to put his business out there, this guy sleeps with a fucking full-on Bane mask on his fucking face.
Wow.
Like, dude. Sleep apnea?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy can't fucking, bro.
I just assumed you were kidding, and then I remember.
Imagine fucking finding that out when you get a hotel with the guy.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be worse if he was.
No, yeah,
snoring all crazy.
it's a two-man show. It's me and it's him, and that's really all it is for the YouTube channel. So
And so, how just to talk about the syndication stuff. So, you just start filming that, and what is it actually? Is it the music, or is it just
this is what it
you
is.
talking and doing your intros?
So
and,
the way I look at it is like I started doing the podcast while I was also doing Nights with Head at Real in LA. Taking advantage of the fact that I could have people come in, and we weren't allowed to have people come to the radio station. And technically, they couldn't tell me not to have people come into my fucking place. So I had that idea where I was like, dude, if I just launched a show, like, I know it'll work. Like, and this is a show that they just take, it's 5 breaks an hour. It's 5 pieces of content an hour.
Of you just sort of talking about whatever, or
Yeah, whatever the fuck's going, like doing like a daily radio show.
Right.
In a very confined way, like we were talking about earlier, kind of how radio is.
and so you write it and perform and record it
There's
yourself.
no writing, no, it's no writing.
There's no writing, but you kind of come up with a little draft. Of
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
wanna
Well, we
talk
kind of
about,
just
maybe?
planned the show out as me and my producer Nico Blitz and my co-host James Andre Jefferson Jr., who just won Netflix Circle season 3.
Oh,
So shout out to him. If y'all need to borrow money, he's got an extra $100K. So
I'm gonna hit him up.
But nah, so yeah, so I was just like, man, I was already seriously considering resigning from Real and launching this on my own. I didn't want to do it without Head, but it ended up kind of like Real kind of just forced the issue because I got laid off.
But Head is still there.
Head is still there.
Head's still holding it down. Okay.
Yeah, Homegrown Radio is still functioning. And then I'm on every night after them for 4
Okay.
hours.
Nice.
So, but that show runs in 9 other cities right
How
now.
do you go about marketing it to the other people who purchase it?
I ended up linking. So I have a guy named Brian Sampson, a little fat Filipino man who's 55 and has smoked crack in his life.
Like many of us.
Multiple times he smoked crack, actually, in the 80s.
I did meth
You did meth?
one time, yeah.
Wow. I'd be scared to do meth because that's pretty much been the downfall of a lot of my relatives is meth.
It was a wild 48 hours, yeah.
So the crackhead Brian Sampson, I can't wait for his son to watch this. Anyway, no. So Brian is he works for Empire, and Brian is a OG radio promoter in the game. So his job, his whole career, has been to get PDs and music directors and DJs to play songs on the radio for a label.
Right.
So when I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I need someone to like be like my liaison to all the stations.
Right.
I trust him, even though he smokes crack. So he was kind of like the middleman between me and like a lot of program directors. And then like right away I got on in Vegas, and right away the discussions were happening for me to get back on in LA as soon as I launched it. So
Right.
and then since then, yeah, shit, now I work at Empire too now. So
What do you do for them?
they have a channel called Above All.
Oh, I saw that. Okay.
So I'm pretty much like heading up all the content for Above All and just helping them with some A&R shit. Like I brought T-Pain over there.
How do you balance like working for different entities and like would you say that the bread and butter is you doing the syndication stuff and then the YouTube stuff is just sort of on top of that, or
I mean, the bread and butter meaning what?
in terms of
The amount of what's
you're
bringing
really-
in the most funds?
that, and yeah, what's the most reliable and biggest check?
The 2 biggest checks are either my YouTube check or my Empire check.
Oh, okay, so the YouTube is doing pretty well.
We just had our best month in December,
How many views?
about 10.
I would have looked at Social Blade if I could have, but
It's like 9.8.
10's
I
pretty
could
good,
just show you my creator shit. I don't give a fuck, bro.
Jesus Christ, you gonna show me the dollar amount?
I don't care. I mean, you don't have to. I'm not showing the camera. I mean, I don't care if you say it, but
You want me to tell them? Everybody want to know how much Bootleg Kev made this month? Not bad. Yeah, sounds about right.
quick little 40 bands. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie though, we only have like 2 times as many views and we got quite a bit more income coming in. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, actually, it's probably because you have so many short clips, and the majority of our views are on long clips.
Yeah, you know what it is that we had one of those YouTube shorts go fucking crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we didn't make any fucking money on it.
Same here. Isn't that so annoying? We have one, a FaZe Banks YouTube short that got like 3 million views and zero revenue.
Yeah, we got a fucking Iman Shumpert short that's at like 1.5 million views, and we've made $6 on it.
Oh, really? I don't even know we made that. I think it might be 0.
No, yeah. So no, and then the podcast, we have a couple of sponsors that's a nice check.
Odd Socks.
Odd Socks, man. Them motherfuckers.
Let's see your socks. See if you're
They're
really
Odd
about
Socks.
this Odd Socks life.
Come on, man. Don't test me, bro. You'll see the X.
Yeah, because it's looking like a pretty much plain white sock.
That's the
there
X,
it is.
buddy.
There's an X.
That's the X.
That ain't Hanes.
Let me tell you something. I met them dudes in Tampa when I was doing radio there. Most stand-up motherfuckers, man. Shout out to Odd Socks, bro.
Really? Wow.
They like sponsored the podcast before we even had any guests. They were just like, we believe in you. Let's go crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, I fucking function with them the long way. And then LRG sponsors the freestyle series. And, we do some shit in the weed game too.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a little bit. But what are you most excited about? Like doing the actual interviews? Is it building the company? Like how do you view this? Like how do you view what you're really working on?
I think that I am very, very excited to build my platform. And like I said, I'm kind of in a space where I'm like, okay, before, like, I mean, I still do radio, but
do you wish that you figured this out 10 years ago? Because then you'd have a YouTube channel but you were using that leverage from the label, from the radio station to get a lot of that content. So who knows what the fuck would have happened? Yeah,
nah, for sure. But even then, like, I wish I would have still always done it on the side.
Yeah.
Because I'd always had thoughts of doing it, but I just, therefore, you always psych yourself out for certain shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, now I'm kind of like, shit that you do inspires me. Shit that, like, when I see certain people, like, I love watching like millions of dollars worth of game. And, I'm just like, I just love the fact that I don't have a boss anymore in life, man. Even working at Empire, like, I'm a contractor. You know what I mean? Shout out to Ghazi, shout out to Nima, the best fucking label. Love those guys. And then, like, I have a label, I have an artist I work with named Alexis that's got a top 50 song at radio right now.
Oh, really? How'd you meet her?
He's a man.
Oh,
he's a chubby Mexican man.
Whoops.
Yeah. He's
There's
got a
also women named that.
He's got a bisexual name, and he too might be bisexual.
I don't think. Does he smoke crack though?
Maybe.
I don't think bisexual is the word. There's a different word for.
Is in 2022 is bisexual out? Is it something else?
No, but it's like there's a different word for like a name that could be used for a man or a woman, but I can't remember what it is.
Oh yeah, for like a name.
It's not bisexual. Anybody remember?
Gender neutral name.
There's an even better one from back in the day. That's some new school shit.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, bro.
Who do you like? How do you approach doing interviews? Do you feel like you have a specific style? Like what is your mentality going into an interview?
Yeah, I think that it's like definitely like evolved over time. What I like to try to do is, like, obviously if someone's coming in that I have like not a lot of knowledge about, I'll do some like light preparation. But for the most part, man, I'm just all kind of the same way you are, like just conversations. And sometimes you'll have interviews that are just fucking hard to get through.
Yep.
And we've had some of those.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, no, I think that for me, it's just about like trying to get people in like to be comfortable.
Right.
I feel like you said, talent nowadays, they come into every situation media wise with their guard so fucking
very
up.
skeptical.
Very skeptical, very like, I feel like people are really worried about clickbait shit and just being a place where an artist doesn't really have to worry about that is dope. You know what I mean? Because if like there's an uncomfortable conversation to be had or something that's like an obvious talking point that maybe the public might want to know about, but the art, like if you have like an 2 hour long conversation with someone and they're fucking with you, like that's probably going to come up anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like where you don't have to like kick the shit off with like, hey, so what the fuck's going, you know what I mean? And,
but do you usually have a length in mind? Because I noticed like early on, I felt like you were doing shorter interviews and then you started to do longer ones over time.
It just depends, bro. Like the first interview for the podcast, the Freddie Gibbs interview was like an hour and a half.
Right.
So it honestly would just depend. And then it also, there were certain points in time where, you know, I have a fucking recording studio that I do it at. So I'd have sessions booked like all fucking day. So I'd be like, shit, I gotta wrap this fucking interview up because some dude and his entourage are about to pull up to record in the other room.
Right.
So like I kind of just started like keeping the studio open the whole entire daytime. So, and it just depends. Like at the end of the day, like sometimes you don't want to fucking, there's certain people you don't want to talk to for more than 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. What's your take? Is Freddie Gibbs a good friend of yours?
Yeah. Like,
What's your
one of
take
my best
on
friends.
Freddie Gibbs versus the world right now? Thoughts?
I honestly,
Is it fuck Slats, fuck YSL, fuck Gunna?
nah, because he ain't even on that shit. I just talked to him last night.
true.
I literally just talked to him last night about the Gunna thing.
His tweet about it was like basically non-confrontational. I can't wait. Actually, tonight we get to hear the Gunna album.
Hey, listen,
I'm gonna be listening with my ear up for Freddie Gibbs references.
and the YSL dudes are super cool, and Gunna's always been super cool. But like at the same time, like
Still slap business.
no one's fucking checking for a Gunna diss song. It's like, what is he gonna say besides I don't?
Except me.
I think the song he's just gonna say I don't fuck with Freddie Gibbs. I think we heard the snippet. It ain't like he said some
really?
wild shit.
Oh, okay.
There's like a snippet, like we don't fuck with Freddie Gibbs or something. I don't think it's anything crazy.
I never heard Gunna diss anybody that I noticed. So
What I'm saying is I'm not sure that like it's gonna be like, you know, some ether shit.
I love how a rapper can keep a diss in the tuck for years.
Yeah, because Fred sent that tweet like 2 years ago
I know.
about the Crime Slappers
And I
thing.
love that Gunna just like feels like, all right, I'm just like,
And someone who's really close to Gunna, really close, really close, is supposed to be on Fred's album. I mean, I've heard this. I have the song on my phone, so I don't know if it's gonna come out now. But
what? There's a Gunna and Freddie Gibbs song?
no, someone who's very close to Gunna.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's gonna happen anymore.
So Freddie got a feature from Young Thug.
I don't know.
Interesting. Hip hop worlds collide. That's why everybody should stay on their own separate sides of the fence. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean the Fred thing. Like I'm really close to Fred, so I
the
would.
slats are colliding with the fucking the rappers.
It's not serious. I would just say like, you know, Fred knows how I feel about what's going on,
Right.
And I wouldn't want to, you know. I mean, I feel like he could probably chill out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he probably chill a little
What
bit.
about Freddie versus Academics?
Yeah,
Because Academics going in on him lately, making whole videos about him. He's giving Freddie a treatment we haven't really seen him do for many people. Like even with the Meek Mill thing, he just kind of chose to ignore him.
yeah. The Academics thing, that actually, the whole entire origin of that was based on the first episode of my shit when Fred said he thought Jeezy wasn't musically relevant. He said that on my show, and then Academics replied to that on the Complex show. Fuck, I forgot what that show was called now.
Everyday Struggle?
Yeah,
Oh, and he said Jeezy's more relevant than you.
right. And that's when things and the thing, and it just got it kind of calmed down. I felt like, and then it got kind of. Listen, man, I think that Academics is probably not a good person. I respect what he's built, and I respect his work ethic, and I respect how he's kind of been an outsider and bullied his way into hip hop. I mean, I don't know him, but I would gather that he's probably a shitty dude just by how I've seen him talk to females on camera.
Oh, you don't like that, huh?
I just don't think it's necessary. Like, you know, like, bro, like, just some of the things he said, like when he said the shit about like Freddie's kids and like their house and all that shit, and like, bro, like, that was to me where it was like, dude, it's a little bit much, bro. Like, and the thing is like, I think Academics is gonna eventually someone's gonna cash that check he's writing.
Who do you think it'll be?
I don't know. I know he better not ever run into Fred nowhere.
Really?
No, come on. Like, what does he want? Like,
You don't think there was a good chance of Freddie running up in the No Jumper interview?
No, because Fred is a good person. He's not an idiot. He's not stupid. He doesn't want to go. He's got children. This is the thing is like motherfuckers also got to realize this shit ain't worth going to prison for.
Right.
Like, you know.
But you basically just said that.
No,
if he sees him, maybe he's down to go to prison.
It depends on what the circumstances are. I don't know. I can't speak for another man and how they're going to react on something. I just know that like that dude is habitually stepped on lines a lot. And like I actually like am not mad at Academics. Like I've listened to his podcast. Like I listened to the one he did with Vlad. Like just on some content creator shit. I respect Academics for sure.
Right.
He's probably a shitty dude though.
All right. Well, maybe we'll get to hear him react to this.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like he's like you know, I mean, just look at the shit he be saying. I just, to me, like, it's just how he carries himself, how he speaks to women. Like,
Interesting.
I don't care about the 6ix9ine shit, none of that shit. Like,
You don't like Vlad?
I love Vlad. Vlad's cool.
Oh, okay.
I just texted Vlad. He just texted me yesterday to try to get him in touch with cannabis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Cannabis. How'd you have that connect in the first place to get that interview?
There's a dude named M80
Okay.
who brought Corrupt to my show. I had reached out to Corrupt, and then M80 brought him to the show, and I followed this M80 guy. And he was like a nice dude, older. I guess he used to rap, but he's like an A&R guy now. I don't know. Works for Fat Beats, I think.
Interesting.
And I saw that he like Oh no, when I met him, like we were shooting the shit, waiting for Corrupt to pull up, and he had mentioned like he's worked with Cannabis a lot, and he was like, yeah, executive produced Cannabis like last 7 albums, some shit crazy, right? I was like, bro, fucking Cannabis, like bring him on my show, like I fucking love Cannabis.
Right.
Like,
How many interviews you trying to do a week?
I try to do at least 2 or 3, but it's tough sometimes, you know.
It's tough just because there's like kind of limited number of people that really seem interesting at any given time.
Yeah, you've done a really good job of getting like certain people that I'd be like, damn, that's dope. I would like just like when you had Silk the Shocker on, I was like, shit, that's fire. Like
That's just popped up. That's like one of those ones that Laura just puts on the schedule, and I just look at my calendar and I'm just like, wow, Silk the Shocker, holy shit.
yeah, no, for sure. Like I think like you had Gary V on, right?
Years ago.
Yeah, like that was one of the first Gary V joints that I saw. That shit was dope.
Okay.
But no, I think that like you do a great job of like you said, in the hip hop space, there's only so much shit you could do. So you're very.
And it occurs to me that the marketplace for interviews is more flooded than it's ever been. I kind of like, in some way, like I feel like my attitude on it has changed a little bit, because when I came in doing underground rapper interviews, it felt like something that kind of needed to be done. Like I just didn't really like see anybody doing interviews with the people that I was personally listening to. The people I was going out riding bikes with weren't really, I just felt like that shit was sort of underrepresented. Now it's so fiercely competitive, even for sort of underground artists, never mind bigger artists, that I don't know, the dynamic definitely feels different these days. And I think like that's kind of like, I'm still excited. I still like doing interviews, but it's just something where I feel like I need like other challenges, because sometimes it just feels a little flooded.
Yeah, like we'll have Fulio will be wearing the same fucking outfit in my interview and your interview.
Me, you, Vlad, whoever.
Yeah. You know, it's like, no, you're right though. I think like when you first came in, it was like a breath of fresh air as far as like exposing. Because when I was living in Florida and, you know, fucking around with Tarek and those guys, like that was like when I realized that there was like a thing going on down there. Because I saw Fat Nick and Puya.
Right. Which is one of the first interviews that I had kind of blow up on the Jumper.
Yeah, that was 2014. And I saw them perform, and I was fucking like wowed, because like just physically how they looked. You know what I'm saying? Like Fat Nick is a very intriguing looking guy, as is like Puya looks like Jesus.
They were not like familiar with the industry or like how you're supposed to act as a rapper at all on the first interview I did with them, because they were talking about like eating, like I think like eating, like one of them eating a girl's pussy, like a fan's pussy, and the other one eating her ass. And I'm just sitting there doing the interview like, I can't believe that you were telling me this. Like,
yeah, so like, you know, I knew that there was like this world that I had gotten hip to in Florida, you know, and it wasn't something that I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, I was fucking running around bumping Fat Nick and Puya after I saw them.
right.
But I was fucking with what they were doing. And and even like, you know, the homies were managing Swamp Posse. The dudes from Rolling Loud were managing a group called Swamp Posse that came up on my show. And that was Tyler Yawa. I want to say
all the way back then.
I want to say Danny Towers was in the group.
Wow, I had no idea about this.
And Sky, who's just signed with Warner Brothers a couple years ago.
Right.
So there was this group called Swamp Posse.
I got Swamp Ass.
Yeah, I've had that.
It's different.
Yeah, so like what's crazy is like Tyler Yawa like will tell you like the first time he ever met Post Malone, I threw a Post Malone concert in Tampa in 2015 when he had 3 songs on SoundCloud.
Wow.
I booked the Tampa date, the Rolling Loud guys booked the Orlando date, and I hit them up like, hey, I want Swamp Posse to open. And then, you know, fucking however many years later, Tyler Yawa signed to Dre London, who's obviously managing Post. So,
right.
But yeah, no, but like what you brought to the game, I felt like just there was like no representation media wise for what was going on SoundCloud and what was going on like with the kids, to be honest.
When I look at that, I'm like, fuck, I wish I had figured it out a little earlier. I wish I had been doing like underground rapper interviews in like 2014, not 2016.
Yeah, but like I think like it worked out for you, man, because the fact that you have like the very first like X and you know, Ski Mask interview and like the Yachty shit, like, dude, it kind of was like, I feel like you kind of came in at the right time, man.
I kind of like, yeah, like at that time, I just felt like I was doing shit.
Because in 2014, you would have probably been interviewing like Key and Father and like shit like that, like out of Atlanta and like.
I interviewed both of them, but.
I mean, but like back then.
Yeah. No, but I mean, when I think about it, you know, I just felt like I was doing shit. I'm just interviewing motherfuckers, and then it just happens that some of them blew up. But a lot of times I look at other content creators and other people who've had runs in the game and everything, and I sort of realized that if it wasn't for that X interview and like a handful of other ones around that time, but primarily the X interview, my career looks like way different, because that just really like defined my podcast in a way that like almost like that thing has like what, like 15 million views.
Dude,
or some
honestly,
shit,
like
for the full thing?
I just remember like it really at a certain point in time, you were like, and I'm not saying your platform is crazy, but you've evolved a lot. But you know, 2017. It's like I'm either getting posted on academics or I'm going on No Jumper, and that's how careers are made.
There was just way less opportunities.
There was that perception, at least, that like, yo, if you could get an interview on No Jumper, it'll change your life. And I'm not saying that's still the case.
It's interesting because we interviewed so many losers that nothing happened to around that time that nobody remembers or thinks about.
Like the 6ix9ine shit. Like you had the 6ix9ine interview, and it's crazy because I remember
begged me for that.
Fucking, you know, shout out.
Over and over and over, he hit me up asking me to do that, and I finally did it because that song with Trippy was popping off.
I'm glad you had Trap on the podcast, Trapzilla's.
Yeah.
Because he has a story that needed to be told. Because I remember going over to his house to pick up packs in fucking Pacoima, or not even in Pacoima, in Panorama City.
Oh.
And, dude, fucking the who's who of the fucking SoundCloud world would be in that motherfucker at all times.
I remember I went to his house one time back then, and it was Lil Nar doing his first song. Smoke Perp, I think, was there. Like, yeah.
Yes, Smoke Perp would be there. That's where I met Lil Pump for the first time. Yeah. Which, by the way, in retrospect, given Pump's age and the fact that he was just hanging out at like this grown drug dealer's house in LA at the time, just fucking crazy if we really think about it. Yeah. Anyway.
Giving me drugs. I never gave him drugs.
Beautiful.
But he definitely gave me some drugs.
But not just like, yeah, like you said, Nar would be there. Fat Nick was I felt like Fat Nick like had a room there. There's a lot of motherfuckers at that house. It was just this house in Panorama City. This dude named Trapzilla, who people who will follow your shit have probably watched the interview. But yeah, it was fucking crazy.
So from your perspective, how do you differentiate yourself when there is a $1 million worth of game, when there is a No Jumper, a Vlad, an academics podcast, et cetera, et cetera? There's so many things out there. How do you view it, and how much effort do you put into getting interviews when you do get the bigger ones? Like, are you really fighting, and like, or how do you go about making sure that they pull
I guess it really kind of comes in waves, to be honest, because I'm the kind of person that has amazing relationships, but I also don't like to lean on them too hard. You know what I mean? So there's definitely interviews, like in December, I was like, yo, we got to end the year with a fucking bang. I'm trying to hit that 100,000 subscriber mark. So, you know, just some certain shit fell into our favor. But yeah, I definitely, if someone's got some shit to promote and I know them, like, I'm like, hey, I make the call, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, I know you talked to AD about the Wiz thing. Like, the Wiz thing was like, you know, Will's one of my best friends, his manager. So, like, and you know, Wiz is my dog. So it just so happened that he had his Postmates thing that he was launching. Like, he has like a Wiz restaurant.
Okay.
Like, kind of, you know how Khaled has his thing on Postmates?
Right. If a rapper has something available on Postmates, I am not getting it. Yeah. I'm not getting Tiger Bites.
Tiger Bites.
I'm not getting Tiger Bites. I see them on there.
Why wouldn't you get Tiger Bites? Does T-Row get a piece of that?
I want to support black businesses, just not that specific one. Tiger Bites, I don't know. I don't know.
So you don't have no Last Kings?
I don't believe that he has any involvement with that. I was looking up Last King shirts on eBay, sending them to T-Rail. I'm like, oh, this shit is hard.
I remember I got like some free Last Kings and I just gave it away.
If somebody had given
Same thing with Truck Fit. You know what's funny is I was like getting paid to wear Truck Fit for like 6 months.
How much?
at the time like $800 a month, which is a lot of money for me at that time. But I only would take the picture in it, and then I would just give it away.
Right.
Because of Wayne fucked up with the sucking dick for truck fit line because it just ruined it.
Man, I remember going to like X Games or like a Do Tour around that time because I was like filming and like, you know, hosting it or whatever. I didn't have any involvement from the music side, but there would be like, they would be giving away truck fit. You'd be walking around and it's like everyone's grandma and like the little 12-year-old kid. Everybody had like a big ass truck fit shirt on over their clothes. And I was just looking at them like, how could they possibly think that this is actually good for their brand to be giving it away at this event and having everybody, like all these random people?
Yeah, I just think that Wayne put the nail in the coffin when he said sucking dick for truck fit. So I don't think any grown men really wanted to pay for that after that.
There's a lot of girls out here who suck dick for less.
I mean, let's be honest, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is true.
You pay for sex?
No, I'm married.
Before that?
No.
Never?
No, never.
You go like that and you show your fucking exercise ring.
Actually, no, this is my wedding ring. My wife's name's right there.
It looks like one of those things that like tells you what your heart rate is on the
Actually, my first blowjob of my
Fuck, I'm out here dissing his ring, damn.
first blowjob of my life was paid for. I was 14 in Mexico.
Who paid for it?
My cousin James Settle.
Was he 14 too?
Nah, he was like 21. Shout out to James Settle, who paid for my first blowjob. We was in Mexico at a strip club called Wow Wow's in Rocky Point.
Wow.
Some lady sucked my dick for $15.
15.
Yeah.
No condom.
I think I had her take it off, and she was like, more money. And I was like, yeah. My cousin will pay you more.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's hot.
I was a child.
You killed it. So what's up with you being such a perv?
I'm not a perv. What do you mean?
You just are always asking me about different porn star girls I know and shit.
Am I always asking you? Why are you over here? What?
You have like an encyclopedic knowledge. I'm in the porn business, and you know way more about porn stars than me.
The older ones, I don't know any of these new bitches that you like. When I see you post pictures with like females, for the most part, there's a couple that are like, oh, I know who she is.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah, my era was like Bang Bros, OnionBooty.com, Isla Fox.
So you don't look at it as much anymore?
Not as much. No, I'm kind of chilling. I'm not like back in the day. Like I feel like coming up, like I would like. I feel like porn was different. There was like thicker Latin women involved. I feel like I don't know. Like when I was coming up, it was like Olivia O'Lovely, Isla Fox.
Coming up and jerking off.
Yep. Well, my cousin, the same guy who paid for my blowjob. Shout out to James Settle.
That doesn't sound very subtle.
My cousin's house was a fucking wild place because him and his girl.
Not a subtle place.
No, him and his girl were swingers.
Ooh.
So me and my homies would go there in high school. He had Bang Bros passwords, all that kinds of shit. So
wow, you do that? You swing?
No, fuck no.
Okay.
No. But it was wild.
I had to shoot my shot.
No. Oh yeah. Well, because you wait, but you don't even swing.
either, no.
Yeah, because if you were swinging, then it'd be going both. Like you would have. You'd be like trading with other couples.
We really only fuck other girls on camera.
Right.
Handful of exceptions here and there, but
it's like a business.
At this point, I mean, it's kind of hard to rationalize like putting aside time to fuck a girl off camera when we could do it on camera and make X amount of dollars from it. It's gonna.
Yeah, it's like, we're leaving money on the table if we don't film this chick that we're about to fuck.
And honestly, the person standing there filming me doesn't really bother me. I'm having a good old time either way. So.
Have you ever had that problem where the person filming like I can only
starts jerking you off?
Is it a man?
It has been. Currently, we're using a woman.
I was gonna say, if it's a man, like, do you like have a hard time like performing?
No. Well, actually, there's always a dude there because there's always a sound guy. And then there's
so you're like this is not some amateur shit.
Plug Talk, available at onlyplugtalk.com, where we interview girls and then have sex with them. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
This is a whole production.
Full production.
Wow.
I ain't filming that on my iPhone. I mean, we could have, and it probably have done fine, but we chose to.
You have a sound guy. So there's like a guy standing over you while you're fucking.
Well, we have to do a transition in the middle of it where we have the wireless mics on for the interview part, and then we take them off, and then he switches to a boom mic so that we can film the sex part.
Wow.
So you can get that nice clapping audio.
Do you guys have you ever had an opportunity where you had to be like, hey, pause, we got to get the money shot together? And they're like, okay, go ahead. Now you can come.
No. We film it pretty free form.
Pretty free form
They're
as
not
it,
like
as
changing
it,
the lights and stuff.
Okay.
I know there's like a certain level of production that happens on real porn sets, which is like why these dudes have to be like crazy good at their job because
and
they
also
have to,
just crazy.
yeah, well, they have to stay hard for like really long periods of time. They have to fuck for 40 minutes, then stop, stand around for 10 minutes while they change the light, and then they got to come. All that kind of shit. We don't really like. We just have a
You don't
film.
have those issues because the way you film is what you're saying. Like
We just don't take the production that
That's
serious.
what I mean, yeah.
It's more about just a cool piece of content. It's not about like we're gonna make this look absolutely perfect. But some porn directors are like that, and it occurs to me sometimes like maybe I should be more like that. Like we've done scenes where we have a male porn star and he's fucking the girl, and I'm just like out in back smoking a blunt, and not even thinking about it. Whereas I know that like real porn directors are in there. Like I've heard, I've been around for it a little bit, and they're like, okay, eat her pussy. Now flip her over. Okay, and now put your leg up like this. I mean,
can you imagine that? Like my fucking, it'd go away. I'd be like, well, guys, I'm done for the day. Someone get this creepy old fuck out of here.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't have enough experience because maybe I haven't dealt with a bad enough male performer.
Is the boom mic guy like a creep?
No, he's chilling.
He's just a normal dude.
He acts like he doesn't have any interest in what's going on. He's just chilling.
You've never like looked over and been like, bro, why are you hard?
No.
No, that's good.
He doesn't get hard from what I know.
That'd be a nice quality to have, to not be able to get like, because that'd be awkward.
It's funny how I met him too because I interviewed, or I had a woman who was doing a YouTube channel that probably never turned into anything, and she came here and interviewed me, and she had a sound guy with her.
Wow.
And then when I decided
Shots.
to start this, I hit her up. I said, hey, what's that sound guy dude's info? She gave me his info, and now he's watched me fuck like 50 girls.
Oh, good for him. Yeah, something on the resume.
I mean, he wears a
Better
mask.
better
too.
than the YouTube
He
channel.
wears a mask, which makes him even less human to me in that moment. Like it would be
Hey, bro, keep the fucking mask on,
if
bro.
his tongue was out,
You wouldn't even know it.
it'd be a little awkward. But
And you
with
also-
the mask, it's like you can't even.
You wouldn't even know it.
I wish he wore a sleep apnea mask.
Bro, that shit is like, it's like Bane from Batman.
Bane mask.
Really what that is you're too fat. Let's just be honest.
Oh, really? That's how that.
I mean,
happens on-
everyone I know who's ever had to have a sleep apnea what the fuck ever it's called, has looked like him. So we're just trying to get Cook healthy in 2022. We want to shame him into health.
For me, in terms of like, I feel like when it comes to losing weight or getting in shape, it's like you have to reach a point of pain where something happened. Like for me, like I'll go to put a pair of jeans on that used to fit and it won't fit good, and I'll be like, oh, and that's enough to make me eat salad for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
For me, the sleep apnea mask, I think would be like, all right,
What am I doing?
no more Arby's.
Yeah. Because imagine like you take a bitch back to the crib.
Yeah.
You fuck her. You're about to fall asleep and you say, hey, hold on. You open the drawer. And you pull out fucking
Predator
Professor X's fucking mask
Yeah.
out of the fucking thing. And you're like, okay, you want to cuddle?
That's what I think is probably holding a lot of people back from having sex dolls too.
I don't
just to have it
That's
in your
another
house
thing I
seems
just
creepy,
don't
right?
get. Yeah, I don't get that. Like, I was at T-Pain's crib out here, and he had shot a video using a bunch of fucking like they spent like $3,000 on each one of these fucking fuck dolls.
Right.
So he was like, "Yeah, we just finished the video. Video just came out, but I'm like checking out these fucking like real ass sex robot bitches or whatever they are. That shit is not cool, man. They had
don't
like
like it?
real eyes.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that level.
They had like they were like the most expensive kind, and I was just like, who would do this?
A couple of years ago, I was at a porn convention, and there's a girl that my girl is friends with named Rhea Sunshine, and she doesn't do guy girl, so I've never worked with her. But
Strictly lesbian?
she mostly solo and lesbian stuff,
Oh,
I think.
nice.
Yeah, but
Good for her.
she had this sex doll version of herself. I think it's maybe $1,500 or something, and she has really nice fake boobs. And the sex doll, I go and touch the fake boob, bro.
Was it very?
I mean, I've never touched her boob, but it would be hard for her boob to feel better than this boob. Like they really nailed it with this fake boob.
I never did the fleshlight. Never done none of that.
Yeah.
I remember I went to the porn convention in Vegas when I lived there, and
Right.
they had like a wall of like pocket pussies when they were like the fleshlight.
You hit one?
I put my finger in one, and I felt disgusting.
I never hit a pocket pussy or a fleshlight.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm good.
I tried to fuck a fleshlight. I think I did it wrong. I couldn't get my shit in there.
$80 for a fucking pocket pussy, I'm okay.
I won one at a
just get
comedy
free
show.
pussy. Yeah,
I won
I have
one.
a wife.
They gave me one at this comedy show, and it sat on my shelf for 3 years. I never hit it.
Now, if someone just gave me one, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know what it was that made me not want to give it a try.
yeah.
Now my girl's got one, and I still didn't hit it. So I can't even tell you how it
Wait,
is.
your girl has
A fleshlight signature.
of her own
Yeah.
parts?
Yep.
Yes.
So,
I mean, you know.
I can't tell you how similar it is.
Do you know how many she sells?
No.
You don't see the numbers? Just so you have like an idea of like how many dudes out there are like
I could ask.
sleeping with fake
Oh, wow.
versions
That's a
of your.
good point. You fucked 5,000 guys this year.
That's pretty wild.
They're
bro.
hitting it every fucking night.
Every fucking night. It's under
You
their bed.
whore.
It's at Cook's house next to the Bane mask.
We should make a bootleg Kev fleshlight.
No, I'm good, man.
No?
I'm good. I don't know. I'm all right.
If you close your eyes, it's the same as a girl.
Are you talking about my asshole? Bro?
No, bootleg Kev fleshlight. That should be the slogan. If you close your eyes, you could just pretend this is a girl. Not mold of Kev's asshole.
I'm sure a lot of people's slogan has been that, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people in prison right now that live by that slogan.
Over the years. Yeah.
Over the years, they're like, fuck it. We just close our eyes and pretend like it's a fucking girl.
Florida in general has produced many of the top porn stars.
Yeah, I'm sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like Florida's a state full of daddy issues.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida's a fucking wild place.
Ron
bro.
DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis. He might be our next president.
He might be.
He might be.
I don't know. I read Twitter. I can't decide if he's a good guy or not.
Yeah.
I see both sides.
I see both sides too. I think that the massive division in like tribal shit when it comes to certain issues has like kind of forced me to evolve the way I think. Because I'm like, damn, if I hate everyone who fucking voted for Trump,
Right.
I'm gonna hate half of the world.
Yeah.
So it's like I have like relatives that I stopped talking to for a little bit because they were like hardcore Trumpers.
Really?
Yeah, but like I don't know, dude. I'm just like, you just can't. It's like a broad brush to paint somebody as, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
now if I had a cousin that was riding around with a fucking Trump flag on the back of their fucking 4x4, that's different than like someone who just voted for Trump, I guess.
I know so many people on my girl's side of the family who voted for him, and I've never even considered having a conversation with them about it. And
But why would you? Like,
'cause
where's that going to go?
What do I have to gain from this?
Yeah, like that's never going to go anywhere good. Like, you might as well talk to them about something you guys have in common.
Yeah.
Or
And I'm not really like all that proud of who I voted for either.
and neither am I. I just put that on my IG story yesterday or the day before. I said, because there was the whatever headline that Trump might have had some sort of knowledge of what might went down on the 6th.
Yeah.
So I just like reposted that and I said, as much as Joe Biden is an old slimy piece of shit,
Right.
I still don't regret voting for him because I think people are forgetting how fucked up.
Exactly.
Like, and the thing is like, Joe Biden is god awful.
Right.
He's a house on fire.
If Gucci Mane was president, I would feel comfortable arguing with the people who voted for Trump instead of Gucci Mane.
That's fair.
Or maybe like someone else. But like,
It's just not an argument worth having.
And I just refuse to sit here and try to like normalize us having elected this fucking ghostly, frail Mr. Burns type guy that is currently president.
Yeah, the Biden shit is bad, bro.
VP sucks too.
Yeah, it's all bad. I don't even know where we go from here.
I can't wait for the next election though.
I just like, what's going to happen? Because Biden can't go again. And if the Republicans run Trump, you would think
They can't run her.
They
No
can't run her.
No one will vote for her.
They can't run anyone. I mean, Biden will lose.
Biden, I actually have heard enough people that I respect argue that Trump will be our next president that I am slowly coming around to accepting it. And I also thought that Trump was going to win his second term up until Corona hit, and that's when I started to predict that he wouldn't.
When Trump before Corona, I thought it was a shoe-in. Trump had the shit. I was like, oh, there's no way he's
I thought for
losing.
sure he had it. And then he really fucked that up.
No, he fumbled the fucking ball at the fucking goal line, bro. Like, I don't know. I think, if there's like a non-crazy person that's running on the other side and Biden.
I think they're running Biden again, even if he's in a fucking wheelchair and he's falling asleep every 5 seconds.
I don't know, man. It's going to be
What's he
fucked.
going to look like in 2 years?
Like the Crypt Keeper from Tales in the Crypt, man.
I don't know.
He's almost there now.
He is. House phone's still not here? They are here. Oh. I thought you guys were going to tell me. I'm making him late.
Making
I'm
house
sitting
phone
here,
late.
Sitting here with Bootleg Kev. The house phone show. Every Thursday at 6 p.m.
And that's on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Live stream. So we're really making him late.
We are making him late right now. But they won't know that we were the reason that he was late until this comes out next week. And then the true hardcore No Jumper fan will be like, they were talking about Trump making House Phone late. Thank God.
Thank fucking God.
Thank God they were talking about Trump in the year 2022.
Yeah. Well, no, look, salute, man, because I love the fact that you're sharing your platform with dope people. I think AD's always been dope.
Appreciate it. Always dancing.
That Sharp dude's a wild motherfucker, man.
Great, man.
I saw that interview with the toe sucking dude because he's from Phoenix, the toe sucker guy.
Tucker.
Yeah, is that his name?
Tucker the toe sucker.
No, what's his real name?
Chich.
Well, yeah.
Big Chich.
Bro, that guy's fucking hilarious. The Sharp dude is wild. That shit's hilarious. I just like how
I can't wait to get back on camera with that guy.
I just love when I see people who are uncancelable and who remind me of my childhood.
Right.
I'm like, yo, this guy you can't cancel. Like I just love when people are so flagrant that it's like.
I had a conversation with him the other day that I was like, because he's always telling me how much he fucks with No Jumper and stuff. And I said to him, I'm like, I know you really mean it when you say that to me, because I know you've been a lone wolf your whole life. And he's like, 100%. And I'm like, I appreciate it, because I know it takes a lot for a superhero to join the Avengers. You know, like that's a big decision. And I appreciate you riding with me. And I realize that this is something sort of foreign to you because you've always just been your own man.
Hey, for real. I just like the fact that a pimp has a platform and he's hilarious.
He was a pimp?
Wasn't he pimping?
I have no idea.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
maybe in his past.
But no, but I just salute, man, because I love how like you were talking about earlier with the rap shit. It's like you got to figure out a way to evolve and pivot, and I think you're building your own world very successfully.
Appreciate it.
And it's you guys are killing it, man.
Fuck T-Raw.
Hey, I hung out with him last night.
Really?
Yeah.
You might want to think twice about that.
Super cool. I was like, hey man, it's crazy we've never met, but maybe
where'd you hang out with him?
I had filmed some shit with AD right after they did their show.
Oh.
In North Hollywood, we filmed some shit for Above All.
Oh, nice.
For Empire, and we mic'd up House Phone and T-Rail, and they were part of it as well.
You should sign T-Rail to
Hey.
Empire. Give him a record deal. Bring him back.
He raps?
He did.
Yeah, I met him, and I was like, dude, I can't believe we've never met, but it kind of makes sense because I've always kind of given Tyga a hard time.
Yeah. Next time you see him, just go in on Last King's graphic design, circa 2014.
Yeah, it was a bad logo.
You don't like pulling up with a fucking pyramid and a sarcophagus on the back? Or
I
what?
think for me, it was really the gold, the bright gold shiny print.
Yeah, it just looked like, hey, look at me, I'm rich. Like that was like the message of it. Like, look at this gold. Look at how adorned in beads and accessories.
With a fucking vintage Chicago Bulls snapback hat.
It's not for me.
You know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, shout out to Last King.
The kids liked it. He's saying $15 million in his first year. I don't know if that was hyperbole or not, but
was that profit though?
Lots
of overhead in the clothing business.
I didn't ask because I didn't want to have to corrupt my $15 million clickbait title. Everybody follow No Jumper Clips on YouTube. We really appreciate it. We're at 15,000 subscribers
Congrats.
right now and coming up quickly. Kev, you don't have a separate channel. You put everything on the main channel.
Yeah. But I saw you guys launch that. I was wondering why you guys never did that. I love the Clips channels. Like that's what I used to love Joe Rogan shit before he was on Spotify. I know he still puts up channels or like clips, but
I love just building up a channel from scratch. I'm very, very motivated to.
Well, because you had did you have a separate channel, like an Adam 22
Adam
channel?
22 channel that currently lies dormant, and I almost never upload because I just.
Why not just go straight Clips to like make that the Clips channel, and you already have the built-in.
I thought about that, but I don't know. And that channel already like doesn't make as good a CPM as the No Jumper channel because I uploaded.
See,
so
I don't know what
many videos.
CPM means. Let me know what CPM means.
How much you make per 1,000 views?
Oh, okay. I didn't. How is that?
Well, this is the thing that'll fuck you up. Make a YouTube video and title it "Best Plastic Surgeon in Beverly Hills," and then upload it and see how much money you make per 1,000 views. Now, you're probably not going to get that many views because why the fuck would anyone who follows you want to see this? But I was watching a YouTube video that showed how the CPM for different types of content based on how much competition there is between the advertisers. Like you can get like a $100 CPM if you make videos about the best plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills, which is insane. But it's true because it's all based on what the advertisers want to pay for that content.
And that used to not, when you and I were talking, whenever we were supposed to do that podcast, you were telling me that like I really wasn't like big on YouTube financially. You told me that there was like a moment that happened.
Oh yeah.
When like the money got split like in half or something, right?
I think it was like 45 grand a month turned into 5 grand a month.
Wow.
So that was fun.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, well. Had
to ride it out.
Do you get clips like that get flagged for like any sort of crazy shit? Like
All the time.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
What can you do?
You stay on top of it.
Shout out to the edibles too.
Shout out to 2020.
Do I get to take these?
You can definitely take those.
Nice.
You want some pre-rolls too? They got some great pre-rolls. I get fucked up off these all the time.
We got to get the shrooms, man, in here.
We got to talk about that next time.
Yeah, shrooms.
Your history as a drug dealer.
All of it. Yes.
Drug trafficker.
No trafficking.
Known for trafficking.
Some light trafficking.
Now we'd be getting traffic in.
I don't know what that
Something
means.
like that. Like traffic on the YouTube channel. So you're not a real rapper like me.
I'm not. I think your rap career went a little more. I mean, a little bit past than just writing in your notebook, Adam.
Nah, I'm just always stewing something up in my brain. Stew. All right, Bootleg Kev.
Boom.
Appreciate you, man.
My brother, appreciate you pulling up.
Much love. You see what we just did? That was awkward.
That was awkward.
No
Awkward
jumper.
white guy shit, guys.
Awkward white guy stuff.
Boom.
Objectively might be Mexican. No Jumper, coolest podcast of the world. Check us out on YouTube, Patreon, OnlyFans, all that shit. Like, comment, and subscribe. NoJumper.com if you want to support, and make sure you subscribe to Bootleg
subscribe to the Bootleg Kev
as
shit.
well.
Please.
Just
Thank
hit
you.
100K, so we got a milestone right here.
Boom.
Let's get him to 110K.
I'm already at 118, but
Whoa!
yes. Let's get to 120.